Isabiti nongu bitika tali vanolomani uasibi mute na ya thamu isa nongu ibakande aumbole mau teve ikonongu bitile.
Women in this community spend from 30 to 70% of their income to pay for the transport, to get their goods from their community to the market. They spend a lot of time waiting in the market to try and sell their product. Buying at village gate is critical to these women in terms of them earning income in their village gate. They have more time to spend with their family, avoid the risk of being in town for long hours to try and sell their product while they go to the local market. We are building a creative commons. For us as indigenous Fijians, our creativity is rooted in our traditions. And through the design process, we want to bring our past and present into the future. Our culture isn't static, it's always evolving. By facilitating peer-to-peer learning between youth and elders, it's how we seed a movement. It is a continuous thread. It's not just the making of the products, it's the stories, the process, and experiences that come along with it.
I was started weaving when I was in the year 2013. My great-grandmother taught me how to weave when I was in 17 years old. I started weaving a baby mat. Now I'm 25. I still know how to weave the mat.
It's really just a strong commitment to wanting to work with rural remote women, primarily indigenous women in Fiji, and feeling that there's just such an innate value in who they are, their identity, and wanting to support them in every way we can to sort of promote their identity and knowledge, to reinforce that value back to them so they believe in that, and to bring that to the forefront of community development strategies and also into the marketplace.
My name is Lieutenant Tinge. I'm a district coordinator from Akete. I have 11 village coordinators. The women in our community is a strong women. We've been planting crops, vegetables, and we've been taking them to the market for selling. We really didn't earn that much of money to meet our family needs. It really helped us by training our women and of course our teenage daughters. We've been starting on this empowering project. We've seen that the men are always taking part too. They always come and help with each other on making dolls too. It really helped as husband and wife, like working together. When ladies are making the dolls, they always do the cooking and they come to the community hall with our lunch, tea break that we want. So what we've seen that this has been empowering to both women and men. On the project that we have started on. We're getting closer together, especially within our women, within the village, because so many times we've been going to our farm and we spend whole day out of the house. We hardly communicate. What we've seen that working together, it was really encouraging and even strengthening our community, communicating skills within each other, especially in the village. Earning money too on making dolls was really add up to the income that we always earn on monthly basis. So it's a really life-saving. We receive our orders, so we always work on. There comes the transportation. As we live in this far from town rural area, it'll be very hard for us to call a vehicle to come up and then pick all the products. Expenses, it's really high. So what we always do, we go on horsebacks and then we transport all the products. We have our village coordinator here, from here to another village down. and then they have vehicles that wait from there, so they load the products and then to where it always goes.
Over the years, we've invested a lot in building a supply and value chain through these communities that are led by women in our program. The structure that we've invested, that are embedded in the community, have proven to be a reliable structure that we can depend on in disaster recovery and also in pandemic response, and also when we start to jump in from the informal sector to the formal sector to supply product into corporate world or even globally. It is women-led supply chain, and it has really empowered the women in their various community to lead penetrating the formal sector through the product that they make.
We focus on supporting women and designing products that we call it high touch, low tech. So, designing things that as much as possible they can do in their community so that they can earn as much as possible. And then we bring either their raw materials, some things are already finished, but a lot of things have to be sewn and cut. That comes into our office. And when we have a centralized place to process it, then we have control over order fulfillment. And that's been really important for us to get to that balance point so that we can source, and really scale what the women are able to produce in their communities and what's realistic in their settings of not having, power and not having access to a lot of technologies for production, but still get them earning as much as possible and getting paid at village gate. Those have really been sort of our goals.
Mat come from the village, it's handmade. I have to make straight for the production and the sewing people.
Looking back, what I have seen is that the skills of the women have really evolved, and they've also created a culture of production.
I have been working in various garment factories, and working in Rice Beyond the Reef is really challenging. It's really different from what we were doing in the garments. I really feel good working. I feel like it's all our family that I'm working with.
And we're lucky in Fiji, there's a very strong sort of manufacturing industry in urban and peri-urban areas. So bringing in people that know, how to professional cutters and pattern makers and machinists that can help, take the hand-printed fabric and the hand-woven mats and, turn that into products that can be sold, for the tourist market and for export and to be done to scale. Because for us, we want to be able to work with as many women as possible in Fiji.